When I was in grade 5, I switched schools. Let's call this school XYZ. I'm calling it school XYZ because it wasn't the school everyone. I only joined here last year, just to put that out there. And as I switched schools, it felt like my whole life had been uprooted, since I left everything and everyone that I knew behind. And I wasn't really good at socializing either. So, the few friends that I did have meant the whole world to me. And without them by my side in a new school where I didn't know anyone, that thought in itself was petrifying. And moreover, as I was changing schools and everything, I didn't know what to do or what to expect. Because everyone will already have their own friend groups, right? So how was I possibly going to fit in? But my parents, who are loving, kind, and ever supportive, assured me that everything would be fine. And soon, my fear turned into excitement, and the day where I would start a whole new chapter of my life began. So I walked into school with my new school uniform and my new stationery, feeling ready to conquer the world. And for the first few weeks, everything went by great. I was able to talk to many different people. I made many new friends. Everything was going just fine. However, as they say, nothing good lasts forever. And soon, my seemingly perfect world was flipped upside down. I felt like Alice in Wonderland. I didn't know what to do or what to expect. Everything was so new to me. It all started off light. At first, my so-called friends would question my weight by pointing out how fat I was. And they would laugh it off as a joke, and me being me, I would laugh along with them. Because A, I was oblivious. B, I didn't want to be the one who couldn't take a joke. But gradually, it got worse and worse. And soon, they started calling me a bear due to the hair on my arms and my legs, or they would fat shame me by giving me more space than required to sit on a bench. And that's when I realized they weren't joking around anymore. They actually meant it. I was being bullied. And then to crash my already sad pity party, I found out that my teachers had handpicked me themselves to be part of the student council. So this meant that even if I wanted to, I couldn't turn down this position. And many of you might be wondering, well, why would you want to turn on this position? It's a great opportunity for you. You get to show off your skills, your talents, your capabilities. Why would you want to do that? Now, don't get me wrong. I was over the moon that my teachers thought that I was capable of holding such a prestigious title and that I would be able to lead my peers. But what wasn't great was the fact that no one, and I mean no one, would take me seriously. Everyone thought of me as a joke. How was I supposed to lead my peers if they wouldn't listen to me? And what was I supposed to do? I couldn't just shapeshift or change the way I looked in a matter of mere days. But all said and done, I was given my badge and I went about my duties, pretending that everything was okay, that I could handle it. But let me just tell you, nothing was okay. It was a complete disaster. And soon, in my desperate need to be liked, I started to change myself. I skipped meals, I exercised more, I lost weight. I pushed my body to its limits. And remember, I was only 10 years old. everything I possibly could to gain their acceptance, that in the process, I had become someone unrecognizable. When I would look in the mirror, I didn't know who I was looking back at. That's when I realized I had lost myself. And as I was going through this unhealthy cycle, I was presented with an opportunity. One that would change my entire life from this point forward. And many of you might now be asking, well, what is this wonderful opportunity I'm talking about? I was given a chance to host a very, very important assembly for my school. But I panicked and I was horrified. What if I made a mistake and messed everything up? Not only would I let my school down, but I would also let every single person who put their trust in me down. And the sheer thought of all the eyes that would judge me for my actions or any mistake that I made petrified me. But thankfully, my parents, my family, and my friends were supportive and encouraging. They told me that I could do it even when I believed that I couldn't. But most of all, I would like to thank my mom, because she told me to put in the hard work and the effort and the practice if I wanted to achieve something. And I did. And because of that, the event was a huge success. And that small success changed everything for me. My peers realized that I could talk on stage. So because of this, they started to observe me. And as nerve-wracking as that may be, it presented a great opportunity for me, because they realized that there was so much more than when they first met me. They realized that I could draw, I was good at academics, I could play instruments, that I was so much more than just my exterior shell. And that boosted my self-confidence a lot. I found the inspiration within myself to focus on my talents and my abilities rather than the words and actions of my bullies. I also realized that I didn't have to fit into anyone's perceived view of me, because no matter what I did, someone would find something wrong with it. I couldn't possibly make every single person around me happy. So I settled on the next best thing. I decided to make myself happy and love myself for who I am. And that small change, that small realization changed everything. And it was so visible that everyone around me started to notice. And over the past 6 years, I have learned to love myself unconditionally. I have grown strong and I have grown confident. It's still a work in progress, but I'm getting there. And many of you might start wondering, well, did the bullying stop? No, it didn't. It was still there, and it played a very prominent role in my life. But I had blocked it out with the white noise of the positivity of my friends and my peers. I decided to focus on the half-full glass instead of the half-empty one. Moreover, this journey of self-love and self-discovery wasn't as easy as you might think it was. I cried myself to sleep every night because I didn't want to portray this weak side of myself to anyone, not even my own parents. So I bottled it all up within myself, and I conquered through this journey, overcoming any obstacles that came in my way, until I came out of it a victor. In fact, it was hard for me to present this speech to all of you sitting here today, because being vulnerable is hard. But I chose to share my story with all of you because so many of us go through the same thing: bullying. It is still a very common problem despite all the awareness that's being spread about it. So I hope that anyone who is listening to my story and is going through the same things that I went through realizes that there is light at the end of this dark, long tunnel, that you too can come out of it a victor. I also want you to know that talking to your loved ones does help. It makes you feel like you have a companion by your side so that this difficult road can become just a little bit easier because you have someone to rely on. And many of you might now be saying, well, hey, she was given opportunity and that's why she changed her life. What about me? What's my opportunity? The answer is there isn't a set opportunity. In fact, one day you could just wake up and say, hey, I don't like the way my life is going. I want to change it. And that could be your turning point. That's the reason why you could change. It's small, but it works. So stand up and fight. Show them the warrior in you. Never be bullied into silence. Never allow yourself to be made a victim. And if you ever, and ever at all, witness anyone being bullied, stand up and take action. You might think, hey, it's just a small action. It's not going to make much of a difference. That's where you're wrong. These small actions make a massive difference in someone's life. It can give them the courage and the reassurance that they needed to stand up and fight for themselves. Lastly, to leave you on a thoughtful note, here's the quote that inspired me when I was at my lowest. And I hope that it can be of some inspiration to you or help you in any way possible. Ruby Dahl once said, "The day that you find yourself will be the most beautiful day, because after that, you will never accept anything less than what you deserve." And I'm happy to say that I have found myself. Thank you. You've all been a wonderful audience, and I hope we can all find the inspiration from within ourselves.